and gentlemen, and welcome to the UK League Championship. My name is Jake Kiprain Matthews, and I am joined by Dan Orcs Harrison. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm hyped. I'm ready for some exciting, high-level UK League of Legends actions. That's all we get here. Very top, cream of the crop.
This is the best of the best, and look at where we are in a brand spanking new set here in London. We've all moved around, everything's new and different, and we also even have ourselves a brand new structure for the tournament. We are running a Tower Championship, which is inspired by the King of the Hill and inspired by our very own Tower of London here in London.
Ah, it's
making sense now, isn't it?
Yeah, I get it.
LVP with the big brain players there, my dude. So what happens is we got 9 teams playing here in the UKLC. One team will sit as the Tower Champion,
which is currently Enclave.
Yes, which is currently Enclave. We'll explain that later. And then 8 other teams will be biting, clawing, and fighting their way up the tower until they get to the top, where they then get to challenge Enclave at the moment, or the Tower Champion, depending on what week we're on. And then at that point, if they defeat them, they take over their spot as the Tower Champion. Now, if that doesn't make complete sense to you, you can head over to our Twitter at LVPUK, where you can get a more breakdown of actually how the tournament works and the occasional champion picture and quote.
Yeah, we love those over here.
We're missing 2. They've burnt them all. We now need Nico and Silas, and then they've burnt them all again.
In fact, quote them back at us if you want to. Use the hashtag UKLC.
Hashtag bring back the champion quotes. That's what we want. But if you've missed any of the older VODs or what's going on in the UK, you can actually head over to the YouTube LVP UK, where you can get all of the old VODs from Forge of Champions, or just the quick breakdown videos that kind of give you the TLDR of what actually happened within that tournament. Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, and you can even speed it up or slow it down at your heart's content. So have fun with it.
Yeah, but we're not alone here, Dan, are we?
No, we aren't.
No, we're not. We've got an old man standing in the corner. Dad, how's it going?
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. They brought me out of the retirement home just for this. I'm just getting over the overload of cringe that I just got from those guys as they slowed it down at the start of the broadcast here. I'm here to talk to you. They're giving me the eyes now. I'm here to talk to you about the structure of the Tower format, a little bit more in depth about how the format actually works. We're going to start off with a graphic showing you how the round of 8 works. So you can see at the bottom here, these are the games that we're going to have today. Darkspawn, Fnatic, XL, Phelan, M&M Bulldog, and Diabolus and Barrage. They are 4 best of ones that will take place on our first day of the tournament. So that's going to be today. Tomorrow, we will have our semi-finals. Now, the teams don't go directly into the semi-finals right above their quarterfinals in this bracket. At the end of the day, we'll take the winners, we'll put them into a draw, and then we will draw them into their semi-finals in a randomized fashion. So, going into tomorrow, we'll have our draws for the semi-finals. Those will both be best of ones. We will then play a final match, which will be our 3rd match tomorrow, and then the winner of that will go on to challenge Enclave, who are our current Tower Champions or Tower Guardians, however you want to phrase it. Now, the reason Enclave are the current reigning champions is because they had the most points from the Forge of Champions. I see, it makes a bit of sense now. And they will have to defend their spot versus whichever team makes it to the top. If they lose, they will take that team's fixtures for the remainder of the season until they either become the champions again or things switch around. If they win, great, until next Wednesday, where they have to redefend their title versus the same challengers on the Wednesday of the following week. That is everything summed up. You will get points depending on where you finish, and the end of the season, the people with the most points go on to a playoff. So, guys, hopefully it makes a bit more sense.
I don't want to slow this down. I want to enjoy it. I not speed it up. I want it to be slow. I want to savor the moment here at Scoundrel.
Other than Scoundrel's bit, because that all flew over. I just hear champion, tower, challenger, bracket,
it's all right, man.
Tower.
You just have to talk about the League of Legends, my dude.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
That's what you're here for. But we do have our first game coming up, which will be Darkspawn taking on Fnatic Rising, as Darkspawn are the newbies here in the UK scene as a rookie team with a rookie roster at Scoundrel. Talk to us about them.
Yeah, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. This is a brand new organization to UK League of Legends. A lot of the organizations that we have had at some point or another over the last few years stuck their head into the UK scene. But Darkspawn are completely new. And if we have a look at their roster, we'll be able to have a talk about the kind of ethos that they've run with when selecting their players. They have lots of new players. Aka's super confident. PFI also the same. You've got Beely, who subbed in for XL for a long period during Forge of Champions, but never had the chance to prove himself. And you have Flirt and Vigo, a UK or a bot lane that we haven't really seen much of in the UK, but they have been playing together for quite a long period of time. However, this team is relatively competitively untested, so we'll have to see how they do, guys.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how this team can actually perform here, because we're having a little bit talk about like the players, and you wanted to talk about Flirt and Vigo coming into this as well as a bot lane who've duoed together for quite a while.
Yeah, and Flirt is someone who's quite aggressive, been known to play picks like the Draven, and I think up against a bot lane like Matty and Crossfair, I could see them potentially looking to punish that, and that could be their avenue to win the game.
Yeah, but they do have a tough challenge ahead of them, as they are going to be taking on a very, very big powerhouse team here in the UK. New also to the UK scene itself, but a pretty established brand. Have you heard of them before?
Who was it again?
I don't.
Fnatic?
Fnatic, that's it. Scandal, tell us about Fnatic Rising.
Yes, Fnatic Rising. Fnatic Rising are the UK subset of the 10-man fluid roster we have for the Fnatic LEC team. So there is a very real chance that you could see LEC Fnatic members being subbed in and out of that 10-man roster. We have a really star-studded lineup for Fnatic Rising, however. If we take a look at their roster, I will walk you through it. So, starting up on the top side, when we get there, we have a guy called Shikari. He is a 3-time UK champion, back-to-back-to-back, arguably one of the best top laners in the UK. Dan, with oodles of competitive experience, going all the way back to the EU Challenger scene when that existed previous to EU Masters. Dan was playing in lots and lots of teams at that point. He has got plenty of competitive experience. You have Magi Felix. If you haven't heard of Magi Felix, you've been living under a rock. The guy is a solo queue god. He had plenty of accounts in the top 10 of Challenger. He just needs to convert that into competitive results. And then we have Matty and Prosfair. Ex-Matty with plenty of experience from the French Premier Tours, and Prosfair, a back-to-back UK champion who is kind of known as one of the greatest minds in terms of UK drafting and UK game plans, but now looking to prove that he's got more than just that. Dan?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of competitive experience across the board for Fnatic Rising. But I think a big thing is that they want to prove that they can move forward. You look at the Fnatic main team, who are a bit shaky at the moment, but like their jungler Broxer came from their academy squad, and I have no doubt that all these players are looking to be the next one to make that step up.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely be watching Prosper and Shikari coming into this game as well, because two players who basically have a title that they need to defend. Now that Misfits has moved over to the French region, and the whole team has split apart, you know, they've scurried away into their burrow in France, and now Fnatic have picked up two of those ex-champions of the UK in Shikari and Prosper. Shikari with back-to-back-to-back champion, making to go into the 4th time, and Prosper, he's trying to go for the hat-trick here, so a lot for them to really go for, and they want to make sure that they come out strong and clean here, so they can prove that, no, we are going to take this title yet again. Are there any players that you're looking towards, though, here, Orcs, but like stand out to you in this first match?
I think I've heard a lot. I spoke to Prosper, and it was the jungle mid synergy between Magi Felix and Dan, and apparently they're a force to be reckoned with. I think the bot lane and top are great, but sometimes they've been attributed with being a bit too safe. They're not going to, you know, cost you a game, but they're not the type to sort of hard solo carry it. But apparently Magi Felix and Dan have just really been popping off, so I'll be looking towards them for this game. And I think you're right. There's a lot of pressure on their backs. This is a team who are put together to win the league. And I think if they come out shaky at all, they're going to be disappointed with themselves.
Well, Scandal, who are you looking at coming into this game?
Yeah, I think you guys mentioned some really good points there. I'm specifically going to be looking towards Beely on Darkspawn. He's probably the guy that we've seen the most of in the UK scene previous to this, and with some lackluster performances when he subbed in for XL, last year, he didn't really do justice to himself. He's had a really good solo queue season this season, so I'm hoping to see him perform a little bit better. I'm also looking towards Shikari. The guy has been sort of touted as undoubtedly the best top laner in the UK, looking for his 4th UK title in a row. So that Dan-Shikari combo and everything from the top side of the map from Magi Felix upwards is definitely going to be a focal point for Fnatic Rising. But you've heard enough from us. The players themselves had a few things to say coming into this matchup.
Hi, I'm Beely, I'm from Milton Keynes and I play mid for Darkspawn Gaming. My goals for this season as an individual is to hit Master, maybe Grandmaster with it coming in. As a team, I'd say Darkspawn's goal is to qualify for playoffs at a push. Maybe 5th is a comfortable spot for us.
Hey, I'm ex-Matty, I'm from Guildford and I play bot lane for Fnatic. In terms of achievements, obviously winning is nice. Personally, it's more about the improvement and growth. So I'm looking to have, with the good environment, improve as a player and ultimately try and get to the next level. And as a team, of course, the goal is to try and win UK Split and then progress into EU Masters and do other.
Alrighty, we're ready to get going with our first game of the day. Fnatic Rising taking on Darkspawn Gaming. Old blood taking on new blood. And I did not know that X-Matty was from Guildford. He's from my hometown, man.
Says a lot, doesn't it? And I think
Great players come from Guildford. That's what it says, man.
Yeah, what rank are you at the moment?
Oh, well, you know, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Getting to
Gold? Gold?
Yeah. Wow, let's move swiftly on from that.
Moving on. What are we expecting to see coming into this game? You know, we've talked a little bit. We're playing on 9.2, not 9.3. So is there anything we're expecting coming into there? I mean, we've heard a lot and talked a lot about this kind of Spell Thief's top with the Kleptomancy.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but I wouldn't like to see either side going for it because I feel like with Fnatic, you have such confidence in your roster. You should play stuff that can make aggressive things happen early.
Yeah.
The problem with this Frostmancy strat is you just poke in your lane until you get that advantage. And the same with Darkspawn. If you're trying to play a sort of scaling option where you invest in the later areas of the game, you're not going to win against Fnatic.
Well, we're into picks and bans. Akali banned away by Darkspawn straight away, denying that from MagiFelix, as the Cassiopeia will be the second ban coming through.
Yeah, that's a big pick for Beely. I'd say his two signature champs are the Cassiopeia and the Zoe, so taking the strongest, arguably, in this meta off the table already.
He is an Azir player. He did take to Twitter earlier today to say that he is an Azir player, but I doubt we're going to see it in 9.2. There are plans for buffs to Azir, so maybe moving on in the tournament, it might be a ban we will regularly see versus Darkspawn, but for the moment, not going to be the case as the Lucian and the Aatrox get banned away.
Yeah, fairly standard. These champions have been banned across the board in all regions, and it's no surprise to me that either team wants to give the other one. Interesting to see the Jace, though, has risen in popularity somewhat, but it's not exactly a frequent pick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, clearly respecting the fact that this can be flexed to 3 lanes from the side of Fnatic Rising. And we've actually seen the Zoe come out as a ban as well. And like we said, Beely is someone who, on both the Cassiopeia and the Zoe, is quite a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, like you said, it is a respect ban towards Beely and the Jace as well. I was having a chat with Prosper at the media day, and he was telling me how disgusting Jace bot is, and he hates playing into it. So now that's been banned against him, I think he's sitting quite comfortable. We are going to see an instant Urgot pick here for Darkspawn. So what we can see Fnatic pick up now.
Like this, you know, they pick it before I can say it, but the Scion is the usual sort of matchup into the Urgot. They both have a fair lane and matchup into each other.
Yeah.
And then the Ezreal coming out for Matty, which makes sense when the Lucian's been taken off the cards. Does mean Kais is sort of out there as the last high tier 80 carry, so it wouldn't surprise me if Flair wanted to go towards that. Could go towards his Draven pick if he wanted to punish them more in lane, but I guess we'll have to see. Neither team picked up their jungler as of yet.
Yeah, definitely playing a bit more of a slow pick and bans here, but it looks like maybe looking towards the mid lane here as Beely's going to get his hands on the Lissandra, going quite safe here into MagiFelix, playing with a lot of respect towards this man who has been a solo queue god for quite a while, so just making sure that they deny any kind of kill pressure by taking the Aftershock Lissandra.
Yeah, and it just sort of pressure MagiFelix to make his pick next. You've seen that the Lissandra's been taken. It might put him in a position where he wants to take a pick before they get to the second ban in rotation, which I think is smart because you know Fnatic on the red side, they would traditionally have counter pick if they wanted it.
Okay, well, like you said, the Kai'Sa is going to be picked up as that next kind of like top tier AD carry. So Fnatic Rising looking for one more pick before they go into ban phase 2. So we're seeing what they're going to be looking to pick up here. Have you got any idea of what you expect?
Olaf could be nice here into Lissandra. Obviously, you just kind of disregard the CC, but I think maybe, I mean, I guess could just be the Olaf.
It's as if you know, man. You're in their head.
Yeah, I'm reading this pretty well, I'd say. Well, we go on to the second phase of the bans. I think for Fnatic Rising, you want to start banning away junglers. You see the Nidalee coming out already. That's a good matchup in Olaf. I think for Darkspawn, I mean, it's obviously either going to be support on mid, but since you've already picked your mid, I would lean towards banning the enemy's mid laners away. I mean, something like the LeBlanc has a good matchup in Lissandra. We saw Faker get solo killed in that matchup earlier today. So I would like to see that taken off the cards, but instead going for the Thresh.
I mean, Thresh has a high play rate recently, has a lot of kill pressure in lane, also provides a solid amount of peel as well. You combine that up with the Ezreal, it just makes for a really hard lane to kill into X-Matty and Prosphere, so they take that away for the moment and now looking towards what their last ban is going to be as the Zillion gets banned away from Fnatic Rising. And Prosphere, he's getting target banned here. We had a little chat, didn't we, before coming into this, and Prosphere said the storyline around him for the long time has been that he's had an incredible brain for League of Legends, but no arms. And he's trying to grow himself some arms at the moment, and I mean, Darkspawn are trying to stop him by taking any kind of playmaking supports away from him now. Yeah, and he's quite limited. I mean, Alistar's still available, but it looks like they're going to go in for MagiFelix pick, unless it's a support Corki. But I'm going to assume it's a Corki mid lane, and one of the strengths is that it does farm up to be quite a powerhouse later on.
Yes, Lissandra has the early pressure, but Corki's quite safe. You have your Valkyrie to get out of dicey situations, could potentially go towards Cleanse if he's really worried. And then later on, itemizes into a QSS well. So now it's over to Darkspawn. Looks like they're going to lean towards the Lee. And then looking at supports, I feel like Braum would be my pick to go to here. Really good against the Ezreal, also against the Olaf.
Incredible synergy with the Kai'Sa as well, as you can stack those passives up at the same time.
Very effective with the double passives. So guess we'll just wait and see how it comes out there. And then Crossfair, Pool being limited quite a bit. A lot of support's taken off the table. And actually, because the Zillion's been banned, that's been played a lot in the support as a counter to the Braum, because if you stack the double bombs when he's shielded,
automatic eclipse, yeah.
Auto easy stun there. So it's going to be up on Crossfair what he wants to round out this comp with.
I mean, what playmakers are available to him? Are they going to look for a playmaker? Yeah, Alistair.
Alistair's a potential pick here. You could go some more defensive, like the Tom Kench or the Morgana. I think it depends how you want to play out this lane. I guess we'll see. And he has gone towards the Morgana.
Okay.
So
picking up a more safe support, they are going to get that early shove as well, with the fact that he can pull down. But Ezreal into Kai'Sa. Ezreal doesn't have quite the shove, so she's kind of compensating for what the Kai'Sa is going to be able to do to the wave.
Definitely helps in the early levels. Gives them an advantage. And obviously, against all the CC from the side of Darkspawn, it makes it hard to get on that back line. You have a really solid front line from the side of Fnatic Rise, and you have this huge Scion and the Olaf as well, and then you have an insane amount of backline damage. So I think the Morgana rounds it up quite well, because you offer an extra element of protection. Because when I look at Darkspawn's composition, you want to flank. You want to get that Lissandra that leads him behind. You want to use the ultimates, attack the Corki or the Ezreal, and then you can easily get follow-up from potentially the ult from the Urgot, or the Kai'Sa ulting into.
So where are we expecting to see both of these teams play around, and what are the win conditions they're going to be setting going into this game?
I think Fnatic have put themselves in a position where they can just sort of play for the later stages of the game.
Yep.
There isn't too much pressure. When it gets to a certain point, they will just sort of become the stronger team. There's so much sustained damage. So I think the pressure is a bit more on Darkspawn to get things going early. I would like to see them play around mid initially. Lee Sin Lissandra is a really strong 2v2. And then if you can potentially get some pressure there, you can start to roam down. Look for the bot lane plays. If you bring 4-men bot, the Morgana is not going to be able to do very much. But on the other side, I think Fnatic just need to be wary of any early game plays from the side of Darkspawn and rely on the fact that on paper they have stronger carries in both the player skill and the champions.
Yeah, but this is 9.2, so this is rework on the Stormrazor as well, so Kai'Sa will be picking that up early. It does give a cheap and effective power spike to the Kai'Sa going into the beginning of the game, so providing they can go equal in lane, they do have that kind of earlier spike there when they get the that Stormrazor versus the Ezreal, who is going to want to stack that tier up. He's going to go into Sheen, so it's going to kind of be the double mana start for the Ezreal. So will be a slightly slower start for xMatty, but he's a player who has a lot of experience under his belt as the studio is falling apart around me, apparently. Don't know if that appeared on camera.
Yeah, well, I think that although there's that aspect, I really think late game it might be a bit dicey just because of the range advantage as well. Kai'Sa's great, but she has very short range, and you're going to be up against a Corki and an Ezreal who can just poke you out. And so I think when it gets to the mid-game point, you could look for some really solid team fights from Fnatic if you go front to back. And front to back means to kill their front line while they try to kill your front line instead of going for, you know, sneaky flanks or dives behind the back.
Yeah,
so I'd like to see that from Fnatic, a very structured team fight. Whereas Darkspawn, they want to look for these plays where they get onto those carries throughout the game.
I mean, both of these junglers actually have the potential to kind of ignore the front to back where, you know, you just pop the Ragnarok on the Olaf and you just run through the middle of the team and just run it to the AD. You might just get dumpstered if you do that, but you do have that option. But the Lee Sin can also go for the flash kick and jump into the backline as well. So they have that potential. It does become a little bit harder for them, though, purely because you've got to worry about the fact that they might just get blown up and just turn it into a 4v4. It's what they can do before they get kind of blown up if they go for those flank plays. But I think you're right. Front to back is probably what we're going to be looking out for here for both of these teams.
I mean, that's the key thing with an Olaf is you have more early pressure pre-6. Obviously, the Dragon Rage from the Lee Sin is going to really add a lot of playmaking potential when he hits that point. But I'd like to see Dan just apply pressure across the map in the early stages and set his lanes up into a position where they will come online sooner than maybe they'd hoped to. Because Corki, I mean, Ezreal comes online fairly fast. You just have to stack that mirror mana, but he stacks it in such a quick way. Whereas the Corki does need a couple of items behind him before he's really super relevant. Whereas I can see Darkspawn, if you go onto one target and you just press all of your ultimates, they will die.
Well, you can see Beely's actually started with a Corrupting Potion in this lane.
And I just want to say, thankfully, we see none of that Frostfang stuff, the Frostmancy. I mean, I don't think many of the champs here would be good for it. You maybe could build it on the Ezreal here. So I'm just happy we're not seeing any of that. Not fun for anyone.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard start here for both of these teams. Going to be definitely keeping our eyes on this bot lane, as Vigo and Flirt have been playing together competitively for a year now, so got a fair amount of experience together, while Prosper and Maddie, both fairly experienced players in their own rights, but they are relatively new together as a duo bot lane, so going to be definitely tracking them throughout these stages of the tournament to see how they start and how they can develop as well.
Yeah, and they've picked a fairly uninteractive lane here. There's not much that Vigo and Flirt can do. Obviously, with Braum, you need to fully stack the concussive blows to get a stun. Not really possible when Prosper has that black shield. So it's essentially just going to be a farm lane for a good amount of time. Kai'Sa's not too bothered about that, does scale quite well. But again, we have talked about that Corki in the mid lane is going to make the scaling on the side of Fnatic really devastating.
Like, see Beely trying to just push Magic Felix in. Misses out one of the minions with the Q, but it's fine. He has got himself a slight CS lead, but should be balanced out here as Magic Felix picks up this wave, just only going down 3 minions or so. Nothing to speak of so far.
Yeah, has opted into the cleanse is something that we noted that he could go towards, and it means that a lot more difficulty trying to find that pressure, because not only is there the flash to worry about, there's also the fact that the first gank attempt, he might just cleanse to get away from it. I think Magic Felix understands that's where Darkspawn could look for the pressure, and he's adapted.
You can see Flirt's already burnt through half his health bar and his mana. Is sitting on the Doran shield as he started with, so he did expect to kind of get poked out early, so he does have a bit of regen. Still got his pot in his inventory as well. Both supports, Vigo is also a Relic Shield support as well, so we'll have a little bit of additional healing. So for now, the Darkspawn bot lane are going to be sitting pretty comfortable in this lane as they try to stay even with Matty and Prosper, who, like you said, are quite a hard lane to kill, quite slippery.
Yeah, and I think Prosper knows that they're in the confident matchup because he has opted for that Ares. Sometimes you see Morganas go towards the Guardian, more safety on the all-in. Here, Prosper knows they are very safe. They're going to just look for consistent pressure, and I doubt that Darkspawn are going to find it without the help from their jungler. And speaking of him, Lee Sin is heading towards that Skull Crab, and both junglers just gone for a fairly healthy clear. Dan on this Olaf managed to pick up all his camps. PFI slightly behind on CS, gone a bit slower, but no ganks to come off as of yet.
It's going to be exciting to see exactly how this goes down. As Dan actually is making his way in, does have his boots and his Predator available, so he can just start to run down as you do see Fnatic push in this lane here. But it looks like Darkspawn definitely playing with a lot of respect towards the potential gank, so they step back and just farm underneath their turret nice and comfortably.
Yeah, and it looks like a recall coming. Matty was on no mana, and I think more focus for Dan is keeping up this pressure where you have a good farming lead over this over PFI, so he's now heading towards his Raptors. However, there is a ward on them placed by PFI, so they now will be aware of his position, and that's where I feel PFI can start to make some plays around the map. And we'll see in the picture-in-picture, first Dragon is an Infernal. Definitely going to be in a big objective for both sides, especially when we talked about the scaling factors.
And definitely both of these junglers are capable of soloing out this Drake as well. So definitely you'll see that Darkspawn and Fnatic are going to play heavily around the vision now because they don't want to give up this dragon. But although you can see BFI's just jumped over and looking to start this dragon up as Fnatic don't even get their chance to have a go at warding it out as Dan was completely on the wrong side of the map. You can see Prosper's in the mid lane at the moment as well. So BFI might just be able to pick up a free Infernal Drake at 5 minutes for the side of Darkspawn. That's a great start.
A crucial tendency as a support is you walk towards the mid lane and then you go bot afterwards. And you can see from the vision, Prosper tried to head towards that top side and hasn't secured the river area. Good moves from PFI, not only establishing the vision, but making a play like this. And Dan's going to check too late. Free Infernal Dragon.
Checked way PFI. Too late. I love these new things, by the way. These are great.
PFI flexing on us, showing his stuff. Oh, and just waits to get the save card out. Not phased.
That was worth the kiss the necklace there.
I think we saw there the next dragon will be another Infernal, and we talked about the scaling aspect. It's not as if Darkspawn have awful scaling. I just think that in the late game, it's easier for Fnatic to execute the comp. If the carries stay safe, they'll pump
Predator, he's channeling up. He's looking to run into PFI, throws out the axe, the Warthog comes down, and PFI will just lose a couple of chickens on his way out.
Yes, it gets away from it safely, but as I was saying, it's more the fact that Fnatic, if their carries stay alive late game, they will be in a great position. But if you start to stack Infernals, it really could be difficult going up against the side of Darkspawn, especially when you have something like a Kai'Sa, which does do great on her own in the late game.
Dan's
fine, Dan, but he has support from his bot lane. I don't think he's too bothered.
Yeah, Fnatic continue to control the pressure here in this bot lane as CS lead is starting to grow. Xmati has got himself a 61 CS lead over Flirt, who has 49. Is about to pick up a couple of minions under this tower.
61 CS lead?
Sorry, 61 CS to 41. 49, but he's now on 51.
61 CS lead, that's amazing.
At 7 minutes, that's pretty impressive.
That's like Frostmancy levels of play.
That's Flirt missing every minion in lane.
Oh, that'd be unlucky.
That would be very
I think
unlucky.
another factor is the Cleftomancy from Ezreal. Obviously gives him a ton of free gold and good moves from PFI. Again, I want to see aggressive moves from him. He's got the assist from Beely, and they're looking to take away a red buff from Dan, who is completely unawares.
And one of the really nice things here for the team of Darkspawn is they don't really have anything to prove at this point. This is the Fnatic Academy roster. This is Fnatic Rising. This is a team who, you know, want to prove that maybe they're worth to be subbed into the main rosters. This is a fluid roster with the LEC team. So they want to try and prove their worth, prove their point here. And they want to just make sure they win these games confidently. But Darkspawn, they're a team of rookies. They're a team of people who haven't had that time in the spotlight. So that pressure is off them. And already we're seeing some early signs of Darkspawn to actually definitely good map awareness, as Dan is aware that his red was stolen, so he's going to go for his own steal here. But I'm very impressed with PFI so far and his rotations around the map. Yeah,
The only sort of thing that I'd question on the side of... Oh, Beely could be in trouble. Good dodge.
Great sidestep. Does get the Ignite down. The shield comes in. He throws it onto himself. And PFI just comes in. Oh, beautiful first blood over to Darkspawn.
Prospect was not expecting that one. The damage coming in. And PFI has had a great performance so far. Just punishes the enemy support for coming into his territory.
Yeah, not a great start there for Prospect. Does get punished instantly by PFI.
Would you say that proved he's growing arms or not? Still the judge is out on that one.
We're figuring out the kinks here.
I think one of the issues I have with Fnatic's comp is, sure, they have the scaling component, but I don't see much of the playmaking potential on their side until they get to the later stages. I mean, Olaf can have early pressure, but he lacks any hard CC, and he saw they had to bring Frostfire to look for something, but PFI's going top as well. Ult comes down on Shikari instantly.
Yeah, PFI's looking to jump in here. Misses out on the Q, so Shikari will be able to walk his way out. Dan, hanging around in the wings, does not have a Predator available to him yet, though, so won't be able to jump in.
I like that they backed off after the Sonic Wave miss. I think a lot of rookies might think, oh, whatever, we're going to take this anyway. They respect the fact Dan could turn up. They've made some advantage on the map, and they backed away. So then take stock of 1 minute 30 for the next Infernal Dragon. That is definitely going to be a big objective for the teams to play for. And right now, I can imagine PFI, well, you can see him. Both junglers heading over to the bot side. They're looking to set up for this Dragon. Fnatic not willing to give another one away.
Flirt doesn't actually take that True Shot Barrage. It's just Viggo who takes it. As the Infernal Dragon, like you said, spawning up in a minute. Can see PFI is around that side of the map, but they do need to clear out a couple of visions, a couple of wards here that Fnatic have placed down. More specifically, that pink ward just on the entrance to Darkspawn's red side jungle as Dan walking towards, throws out the axe. PFI hasn't actually been spotted yet. Dan doesn't know he's there. Kick connects. PFI not going to pull that trigger as Prospect was waiting in the wings.
I mean, something crucially is we've talked so much about how PFI's made a great impact getting this...
Viggo.
Seen a play coming bot.
They're looking to jump in. He throws out the ultimate. That's going to be the Ragnarok popped on Dan to make sure he can run away.
That's big. That's big. The fact that they got the Ragnarok when Dragon's coming up in 30 seconds, it makes Olaf very hard to play, especially when you look at a team comp like Darkspawn with so much CC. However, one thing I will talk about is Dan managed to get a big CS lead. You've seen PFI prioritize that kill on Prospect, managed to get the Dragon as well, but here, falling behind in farm.
One of the nice things, though, for Fnatic is they did get themselves the base off earlier, so they can head down towards the Dragon and try to get control of the map. As you can see, they've got the Scuttle, they've got loads of wards down. There is one pink in the pit, though, which they will have to clear out, but obviously giving away their position. Beely has ultimate, and if we do take stock here, no teleport on Shikari or Akers at this point.
Yeah, so both of them walking down, neither team willing to give up this Dragon. We're going to have a fight here. It's going to be a fun one. Protobelt has been finished on the Lissandra, but no Stormrazor on the Kai'Sa. So looking at the mid laners for a lot of power on both sides here.
All 5 members are hanging about him. Magifelix has actually used the package away. PFI going to take a True Shot Barrage, a big chunk of damage onto him. And Dragon just gets secured by Fnatic. It's an Infernal apiece here. And PFI took way too much damage to be able to continue that for a fight.
Yeah, just lack of control. Fnatic already had it established. There was no way really for them to get in other than to look for a steal. And good prevention from the side of Fnatic meant it was secured. They've now equalized on the Dragons.
I want to talk items here because we've seen the Man Immune has been finished up on Xmati at this point. He's got a Sheen in his inventory to just 2 long swords and a dagger for Flirt. So Flirt is in a dire straits at the moment as He's very far behind. Has at least got his attack speed boots, but that's all he's got really of note at the moment.
I mean, that's the crucial thing with the Storm Razors. At some point, you need that 1,300 gold to buy the BF sword, and until now, Flirt just hasn't found the opportunity, so is falling a bit behind in terms of the damage. Big thing to talk about is redemption on the Olaf, something we saw Tarzan start up in Korea, has been built by Dan. Going to offer some extra utility for his team, particularly in those skirmishes in the mid-game.
Yeah, we have seen a lot more junglers picking up this redemption. It's going to be good for him for the moment. As Magic Felix actually just trying to chunk out Beely a little bit, as has got the help of Dan. They're controlling the Scuttle Crab. You can already see the Predator's been popped on Dan as he's making his way up towards PFI. He gets chunked out, a rocket comes down. Going to go golden with a stopwatch, and the Phosphorus Bomb comes out. But the binding is enough, and Prosper is going to be the one to pick up the kill. That's one for Fnatic. It's one apiece. The gold, though, very, very close still.
Yeah, and last time Prosper was punished for roaming up, but this time he's rewarded. They find out PFI once again trying to sneak an objective away. Not only did they get the kill and the stopwatch from him, they pick up the Rift Herald, and we could likely see this head towards the first tower. In fact, they've moved the bot lane up to the top side, and it's coming up on 13 minutes. 1 minute left of tower play, and I'd really like them to make use of this Rift Herald now and get some extra gold.
It was an extremely strong start by PFI on this Lee Sin, but his last couple of plays at the second Infernal Drake getting chunked out before he could jump into the pit to try and steal it, to then just getting caught out there at the Rift Herald, does show us that the Fnatic roster are definitely starting to read his plays and figuring out how he's playing this map, as he seems to be playing very objective focus more than gank heavy.
Yeah, and the thing is, Dan isn't playing massively gank heavy himself, but he has managed to get a big CS lead over the Lee Sin. He's level 9 compared to level 7, got about a 40 CS lead. It's significant. That's like 10 camps, and it's proven that when he shows up, he seems very tanky, despite having invested in that early redemption. And I think that this might be PFI's bane later on in the game. Looks like they're going to put the Rift Herald mid. That should be in time to get the plating, actually.
Yeah, should
so
be able to get
a ton
this
of
plate.
gold on this Corki.
There's a lot of gold.
Yeah,
there's also going to be a big chunk onto this tower, though. As they probably won't be able to, actually with the Ezreal, they might be able to get this first tower blood as well while the plate still stands.
Yeah, no, they didn't get the last plating, but that's still a ton of gold over to them. And thinking on this Corki, a massive amount. Corki does actually now have 450 gold bounty now on him, despite only having farm.
Yeah, so Corki is going to be in the eyes of Darkspawn to try and get a shutdown onto, but for the problem being with that is the fact that he's a very safe mid laner. He has that Valkyrie, and especially when he has the package, he has the extra distance he's able to travel as well. So it's going to be a little bit harder for them to try and find that opening. But at the moment you can see Fnatic have swapped out their bot lane towards the top side, trying to gain some control of this part of the map.
Yeah, and I mean, as you said, they have started to see slow advantages come over the Fnatic side. Now got a 2k gold lead. And the thing is, this gets scary and scary later on. We see the Predator come down from Dan.
Yeah, Akers actually misses out on the Q, takes a big chunk of damage. PFI trying to make his way in. Ragnarok's about to wear out as Akers flashes away. PFI forced to jump towards Akers, but yet another one connects and he's jumping in for the kill. That's going to be the kickback.
Oh, he kicked him in the tower!
Oh, he's going to use the Zonyas to stay alive for the moment. Magic Felix is making his way in. PFI gets one. Beely going to root up Shikari and Protobelt to safety. It's just the one-for-one trade here for Darkspawn and Fnatic.
I mean, just great play from PFI. Kicked Dan perfectly under that tower for the extra damage. Got to give props to him, but still, Fnatic are ahead, but they're giving away some free tower time up topside.
Yeah, Flirt should be able to get a fair chunk of damage onto this, but Prosper making his way up, does have the stopwatch available, so he can go for that big play, although you can see Flirt is doing a serious amount of damage. Now he's got that Storm Razor in his pocket. That's that spike I was talking about in Champion Select.
Yeah, it gives a crucial free crit whenever you've stacked it up, and I think it's something to worry about because there's no mirror mana fully available on this side of Ezreal. Needs to stack it up still before he's a massive threat in the game.
But X-Maddie is sitting on the Iceborne as well as the mirror mana, so he's got 2 items to just the 1 of Flirt at the moment, which means he does actually still have a fair amount. Yeah,
that's Ezreal.
That's the gold.
Cheap items, extra gold from Klepto. Can't complain. Once that gets stacked up, that's where you're going to see the real pressure. We do have a Triforce on the Corki. Big first item spike. We'll just got to see how it comes out there. Next Dragon's going to be a cloud. It looks like Dan already starting to get control there. We'll just take it off the board now. Looks like CSG might want to contest this.
Yeah, they look like they're trying to come forward here. All of the members are about, as you can see the Ezreal is in the top lane. Xmani does have teleports, he can make his way in, but Akka's already popped that Righteous Glory, trying to get in close as they're looking to chase up. The Redemption comes down, Beely's very, very low on HP. Glacial Fish connects, but that is a massive true shot barrage. Prospect jumps into the backline, finds himself one, as that's going to be one on the Magic Felix. 3 kills for Fnatic, and Beely is caught in the wrong spot. That's going to be another kill on the Flirt. Beely is the only one who remains as he's trying to get the shutdown, but Shikari gets out alive, and 5 members of Darkspawn fall.
And Fnatic find the perfect team fight. Darkspawn were looking for it, but they did manage to get on the back line. And as soon as Fnatic started to push through, the rest of Darkspawn fell apart. Just great team fighting, great flank coming in from Prospect on the end. They're rewarded not only with a dragon, but 5 kills, and they're now at a 4.5k gold lead. Really looking to take this game by storm.
That was a massive fight for Fnatic, and it was all for a Cloud Drake as well. And they even got the Drake in return. So fantastic fight fought the side of Fnatic, and we're seeing Prosper starting to show off some of his arms here. Maybe that's one arm. He's grown one.
Yeah, I think he's only using one at a time. It seems like he had made some mistakes early, but that was the crucial play, because I feel like Fnatic were already winning the team fight at that point, but it was just crucially that they managed to take all the kills there and get a clean 5-0 off the back of Prosper's flank.
Yeah, we are seeing Shikari's just making his way down towards the bot lane. And it looks like a little bit of a map reset here for Fnatic as they're trying to reassign some positions. As Magic Felix picked himself up a kill and 4 assists in that. Let's have a little look at that fight once again.
Yeah, so we'll go for the replay. And you can see Magic Felix still has a package here. Darkspawn start to walk in. And you can see Beely is the one looking for the engager when he comes over the wall. Comes over, but Magic Felix already moved out. They layer the CC on the tanks, but that doesn't do much at all. And now the turnaround comes. Mighty and Magic Felix are in a great position to do a ton of damage. And then Prospect comes in with a flash flank, gets the stun chains onto those 2 targets, stopwatches to ensure he gets it, and then it's just clean up for the side of Fnatic.
Yeah, it's an easy clean up from here. Beely finds himself completely separated from the rest of the team. Xmadi able to walk away, quite happy with himself there. And, you know, this is really a chance for Magic Felix on this Corki to kind of show off what he's capable of, because his competitive history hasn't been the strongest for him. He's not had the greatest run so far, even though he's been a player who's been dominant in solo queue for such a long time. Now he's picked up on by a fairly prestigious roster and a fairly prestigious team, but Beely trying to get the root on with the Aftershock is forced to go use the ulti on himself to stay alive. True Shot Barrage gets blocked up by Vigo, and this turret will remain for the moment, but health bars are going to be low on the side of Darkspawn.
Yeah, they had to use the Sandra ult just to defend the tower from that wave. Next one, they're not going to be able to do it. These 2 AD carries, Magic Felix and Mighty, just destroying any tower they come to. And right now, Darkspawn are just trying to play defensively and find anything they can, but really the pressure is being applied by Fnatic, and we're not even 20 minutes into the game.
Yeah, solid game coming out from Fnatic. They've got themselves a 5.1k gold lead over Darkspawn at 19 minutes into the game. Got an extra Drake over them. They've got that Cloud and that Infernal in their pockets. 3 towers to 0 for Darkspawn, and continuing to try and assert this pressure. As looks like they're just going to pick up that red buff onto Xmadi, and I'm curious to see where they start to prioritize, whether or not it's the mid and top and try and dance around Baron, or if they're just going to go for the 1-3-1 and say, we don't even need Baron to contest you now. We're too far ahead.
I think it's risky to start the Baron, because you have the whole point of Fnatic's composition is you want to protect the Corki and the Ezreal, and by putting them in the Baron pit, they might be in an uncomfortable position. I think you just want to keep applying pressure like this and get control of the Baron area. At some point, Darkspawn will have to contest it, and then you look for a pick, probably off the back of Morgana binding.
Okay, well, Dance just continues to steal away minions from PFI. 145 to 101 CS in that jungle, as we can see. Every other lane is relatively equal. It's just a big differential in the junglers there.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a bit of CS lead in the AD carry role. We now see that the second tier has been picked up by Xmai, and that Mirror Man is fully stacked. Triforce and Rapid Fire Cannon on the Corki. So a big long-range ability to burst any champions he finds himself on. And he is playing safe up top here, but I don't think there's any pressure really going to be applied. When you have that flash, when you have that cleanse, hard to pin the Corki down.
You have to watch how they're going to play that for the moment. It looks like they're just going to play with a fair amount of respect. We do talk bounties as well. If Darkspawn can find themselves a good fight and a lot of that gold gets funneled onto either Beely or Flirt, they're going to get a serious amount of gold. 450 gold on Dan, 450 gold on Magic Felix, and 450 gold on Prospera as well. So lots of additional gold on the map for Darkspawn. And if they can get a good team fight and then crack some towers, suddenly this gold lead will just melt.
Absolutely. That's the thing, is that if they find those opportunities, they can get back in the game. I think the crucial thing is you need a good flank. You need a pick onto one of those backline carries. The issue is it's so difficult. Magifelix has the cleanse. Mighty's going to have Prosphere there with the Black Shield. And now Prosphere's built himself a Zhonya, so even harder to try and pick the support, as you saw PFI do earlier.
Looks like they're trying to get control of this blue side jungle here for Fnatic, as just clearing out wards, placing down their own ones. As you can see the toggle, Darkspawn see absolutely nothing on the map.
Yeah, I mean, they still have some wards in the Baron area right now, but now a dragon spawning, and crucially this is a mountain, which is going to make it even easier to take that Baron. They don't even need all their members to take it. They're just sending over Shikari and Dan, and Magifelix is going to zone off the rest of the team. They might look for him, though.
He does have the package, though, so he just gets to jump away with that extended Valkyrie, as the Mountain Drake is getting started up by Fnatic, but it actually looks like Darkspawn maybe just thinking about trying to get control of the vision. They're not going to start the Baron up yet.
I understand the idea. They wanted to head towards the Baron and potentially threaten it, but when there's an Ezreal and a Corki poking you, it's not really going to happen. They don't have anyone significant to be able to tank it as well. So Fnatic get that dragon for free, and now sitting on the back of that mountain, Baron is a very real threat, especially when you have two AD carries, the Corki and the Ezreal, who can shred through it.
Can see Shikari's got himself the Warmog's armor and the Righteous Glory in his infantry, so got a lot of health to speak of, and if he takes one of these fights, he can just heal that up nice and quickly with the... What's the Warmog's passive called? I can't remember.
Warmog's Heart or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Big Healy Boy?
Big Healy armor.
Yeah. Heals, please. Something like that. But he is obviously going to be a massive powerhouse, and that's crucially what Fnatic are going on. We've actually seen the Gargoyle Stoneplate picked up by Dan. They know they just need to survive as much damage as possible, and they're going to be able to. They can tank the Baron so easily. Magifelix pumping out the damage, and Fnatic starting the Baron.
Yeah, they're working their way through it. Already half HP. PFI trying to see if he can get in to steal that away. Vigo takes a big chunk of HP, and now Fnatic just peel away from the Baron. Shikari, with that Warmog's Heart, can just heal his entire health bar back up from the Baron as well, and looks like Fnatic go, okay, we can't get it, we'll just step away.
Yeah, didn't want to risk the 50-50. PFI had some good plays so far, and if you did steal that away, that's really where you could turn things around in Darkspawn's favor. So just playing it safe for now. They still have a 5k gold lead. They don't need to make any rash plays.
With that Righteous, though, Shikari can always make the engage happen, can chase people down. PFI just...
I mean, he can just choo-choo at them.
Guess Thomas Chank engine his way in.
PFI snuck in to try and get some wards down, but going to get cleared out. And this is the issue. You constantly have to fight for pressure. Beely does have his blue ward available. This Scryer's bloom, so they have another chance to spot them out. But for now, Fnatic are just trying to control the game as well as possible.
Darkspawn just throwing out that Void Seeker to see if they can spot out a couple of members. As Akaz is stepping forward, does have that Fear Beyond Death available to him if you would like to find an opening, but it's going to be very, very hard to get a kill on Shikari.
Or does Shikari just take 0 damage? He just seems invincible.
I mean,
I think that's just
if we look at the items, it's not a bug.
I think it's a Scion, yeah.
It's Scion at the moment.
Said for it.
I'm curious to see actually how much health he has. Yeah, I feel like as we're the 25-minute mark here, we're looking at Fnatic who are definitely doing a very good Baron dance here. They are playing with a lot of respect towards Darkspawn, knowing, okay, if we have one bad fight, the game completely falls apart at the seams, because Beely in the Baron pit, even if he self-ults or ults one of the primary carries, it's so big for the side of Darkspawn because they just get stuck in this AoE area where that's exactly what Darkspawn want to be doing. They just want to be throwing all their like eggs into one wall. I didn't have anything to describe that by. Eggs into one wall is not the one.
Eggs in no idea. Just a note for all
You're just completely lost.
Just a note to all our viewers: the scoreboard will be shown next game. We'll get that sorted out for you. So sorry about that for now.
Luckily, we do have it, so we'll keep you...
Yeah, we will keep describing it for you. So ask away. We can't hear what you say, but I'm going to pretend that you asked. What items does Corki have? Oh, Corki has a Triforce, a Rapid Fire, Pen Boots, and a Pickaxe. So there you go.
If you can guess what items Akaz has in his inventory, we'll give you a shout out on Twitter.
I mean, I wouldn't say that.
We're doing it. That's happening.
It's pretty...
So if someone on Twitch chat can guess what items Akaz has at 25 minutes into the game.
I mean, I don't think it's a hard guess. That's all
It's not a hard guess, no, but you know.
What would an Airgot build against a Corki and a bunch of tanks? I wonder.
We'll give you the answer in a couple of minutes. When he has more items.
Yeah, when he has more items. We do see the Ginsu's come out from the Kai'Sa. Still not at the point where you can shred the tanks, but I feel like now Flair is in a position where if you get the opportunity to auto Shikari 317 times, he might feel it at least.
Yeah, definitely going to be the case. Can see Fnatic continue to pressure out this mid lane, and a couple of members hanging around the Baron. Fnatic did think about starting it up, but don't actually go for it. And that does mean Maddie loses a fair amount of HP, as he doesn't have that Blade the Ruin King.
Doesn't have Stain opted for that Archangels.
Yeah.
Well, it's a Saras. No, it's Archangels now. Building into the Saras very early on, and also gone for the Magic Pen Boots, so a lot of burst. And I think that makes sense when you look at Darkspawn's roster. A lot of squishies across the table. Oh, quickly dodges that ult. It does so much damage now.
Well, because you build AP and AD,
but not just that.
Now
they changed it so when it passes 2 minions, it doesn't lose damage, and it absolutely murders anyone it hits.
Yeah, that's actually filthy.
Yeah, and
when
Vigor's not there to block it, could get a bit dicey.
Well, you can see Fnatic continues to try and get control of this Baron pit as...
I don't think they're going to go for it right now, though. If you look 30 seconds till the next dragon, which is another Infernal, I think you pick that up, and that cements your scaling so hard as Fnatic.
You can see Fnatic aren't eager to start it as well. They want to definitely know that they can take it. They don't want to risk the 50-50, so they're playing with respect towards Darkspawn. And Darkspawn need to look at what they can do here, as they are still down a massive amount of gold. Their AD is on 2 items, while X-Maddie, he's sitting on 3 at the moment. As you can see, Darkspawn are trying to clear out the vision, get control of this part of the map.
I mean, crucially, the thing I'm really worried about is the Corki. Has IE, Rapid Fire Cannon, and a Triforce. That is such a huge spike, and you can see from his confidence, he has the package, he has Cleanse, he will walk up, and one auto will shred anyone on Darkspawn.
Well, that little adventure by Darkspawn to go get control of the Baron pit actually did just cost them heavily, as they lost a tower, and they're going to lose the Infernal, as Dan's just going to solo this out, but it looks like actually the pings are going down.
And it's not the Baron, this is... oh, no, they're back off.
No.
I can understand they want to look for it, they want to try and push Fnatic, but really, they just don't have the damage to do it quick enough, and Fnatic would murder them if they caught them doing the Baron.
Yeah, it'd be very, very dangerous for them, as that is now a fully upgraded Seraphs on Maddie. So he is... all his stacking is done, and now he's looking to build towards that Blade of the Ruin King.
Yeah, minigame completed. Yeah, good job, Matty. You've stacked both your tiers. You're now rewarded with an insane amount of damage.
It's funny because when people play Ezreal, they still constantly spam spells, even when they've got both their tier items fully stacked.
I've seen people
It's just because they've done it for so long. It's all they know.
Maybe it's just a flex now. Look, here's a Mystic Shot. Maybe there's a random invisible
6k mana
who's walking around and you just want to clip him when he's going by. You never know.
All right. Well, Fnatic now with full vision control of the Baron pit. With Corki at a very powerful item spike, with Ezreal fully stacked his tiers,
I think they
can just turn towards this. They've got Infernal, they've got a Mountain. Maddie's going to throw out a Choose Shot Barrage.
If you look, Magi, Felix, and Dan have just started this. They know they don't need all 4 members. They're just trying to maintain the pressure, and now it's on Darkspawn to try and move over, but the Baron's already gone, so they don't even need all 5 members. Easy to secure that, and things are looking really dire for Darkspawn here.
Yeah, solid stuff. Is now with the Baron, it's going to be even harder for Darkspawn to be able to clear out this waves, as they're actually going in for the play here. The Ice Claw comes forward. As you can see, Lissandra throws herself into the fight, trying to get onto Shikari, but the Shikari is just so tanky for the moment. Maddie kiting and fighting away. The kick does connect, and a flash is going to be forced. Prosper jumps in with the chains and locks down multiple members. That's already going to be 1 for the side of Fnatic, as Beely very, very low HP, and he is just going to get chunked out by X-Maddie. It's going to be a return kill, though, picked up for the side of Darkspawn. PFI is just bleeding out HP for the moment, and the True Shot Barrage not going to be enough to clip, but Magic Felix flashes in, finds himself a double kill. The rockets are coming in, and he's looking for the triple, but PFI not going to give it to him for the moment. And PFI's just going to flash the wall. He is outie, but doesn't matter because Fnatic are cracking open Darkspawn's base.
But I have to say, PFI took the moral victory there, not giving them the ace. However,
he gave him the ace.
Never mind, it's gone. Big brain plays coming out from Magic Felix. And that should just be the end for Fnatic. A very calculated game. There was some life coming out from Darkspawn at the start, but eventually the Fnatic Rising monsters just destroyed them.
Yeah, Fnatic Rising definitely putting their stamp down here on the UK League Championship. But Vigo definitely not willing to give up his towers without a fight. Was that just a Scion Q?
We might have spoke. No, I think that was the Ezreal damage as well.
Oh, that turret!
Yeah, I mean, we were calling it to be done, and it's still going. And this could be the comeback for Darkspawn. This could be their opportunity to come back into the game. at only a, it's 9k gold deficit. I've seen worse.
We've all seen worse. We've all played worse.
In your promos, in my promos, in anyone's promos, there's always a game like that.
No, I didn't have a single game like that in promos. They were all just stomps.
That's what I mean. 9k behind is quite a stomp.
Yeah. No, but I thought we were talking about coming back from 9k.
Oh, no, I was saying...
No, that definitely didn't happen in my promos. There was definitely a 9k lead, but...
It's hard in gold.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But again, we'll take stock of the items. There's now a Guardian's Angel. Oh, they're looking for a cheesy play, but
I mean,
Squire's Bloom will
setting
find
up a
them.
Fnatic Death Brush into Fnatic.
Yeah, less than optimal.
Not sure about that
I
one, champ.
respect it, though. It looks like Fnatic just going to push up the mid lane. They still have that Baron. I feel like they could just run past them and go for the next, and they're going to do it.
He's just going to run in. That's going to be Shikari just taking down the turret nice and easy. Glacial Fish is going to go out. Beely uses the ultimate. He just gets deleted. Vigo is so low on HP, and Darkspawn are losing members left, right, and center. X-Matty finds himself a double kill. Another one gets taken away from Shikari, and only one member remains. That is going to be Akers, but it doesn't matter. 31 minutes on the clock, and Fnatic crushed Darkspawn.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't see the comeback from Darkspawn. That Nexus Tower with 10 HP just wasn't enough to bring them back in the game. But good attempts, and there was some early life, but Fnatic showing why they are pegged to be the top team in this league.
Yeah, and I mean, for the side of Darkspawn, you have to keep in mind, they are the new team. They are still trying to find their feet. This is a very established team in Fnatic Rising with lots of kind of big name players here in the European regional leagues. So to have such a powerful roster and then to go up against like a team like Darkspawn who are still fairly fresh and trying to figure out their tempo coming into the UKLC. So I think if we do want to talk about some things, we have to talk about how PFI played the early game for Darkspawn.
Yeah.
And I think if they can look at improving upon the decision-making around his early playmaking, there's actually potential for Darkspawn to grow heavily as a team.
Individually, PFI put out a lot of good plays and a lot of pressure. I think the issue came when Fnatic started to play as a team. They brought Frostfire up, and that meant they had an extra man advantage. When he went to try and get the Rift Tower, they got collapsed on. I think it's great initiative already from PFI, but I think you need to support the team, and then you're going to need some more cohesion before that really comes through.
Yeah, great showing there from the Fnatic Rising roster, though. They were able to get themselves a win over Darkspawn, but there's still more to come, and we have to see exactly how they're going to be able to fare versus these kind of teams. You know, we have like a clear top 4 we like to talk about here in the UKLC. Fnatic Rising being one of them. We also have our eyes on teams like Diabolus, who came second in Forge of Champions. We have XL, who are another one of those fluid LEC rosters. And then we also look at M&M, who are like a former king of the UK. A team that definitely want to kind of put their stamp down and kind of return here as one of the powerhouse teams in the UK team.
I think I'd argue that Darkspawn are one of the newest orgs, and Fnatic, a lot of people are touting them as the #1 team so far, based on expectations. So I think although this game seemed a bit one-sided, I feel like as the day goes on, we're going to get things closer and closer. And I think the final match, which is Diabolus against Barrage, really, I could see there being, I mean, I wouldn't even call it an upset necessarily if Barrage won.
No, but we do have more games coming up, so we're going to cut to a quick break. And when we are back, it's going to be XL taking on Phelan. So we're not going to a quick break, actually.
You lied to me.
I lied to you, the viewers. I lied to everyone.
Wow, I'm kind of here.
I mean, we do have XL versus Phelan, so who are you kind of pegging coming into that?
I think XL are the team who are going to come out ahead, but I think Phelan definitely have a lot to show us.
Okay, well, now we are actually ready for a break, so I'm not lying to you anymore. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a second.